your host. Helium, you're doing an amazing job. I can hear that you're still alive. It's wonderful this far into the show. I appreciate it. I expected to come out and have to say what my boyfriend says to me during sex. Wake up! He's much nicer about it. I am not. Despite being from Seattle, this is my first time in Portland. Thank you for that tepid reception. You really do mistrust outsiders. I love first times. I think first times are special. Also, if you tell anyone it's your first time, there's like all sorts of wiggle room to be bad. That's why I tell guys I'm a virgin. I'm like, it's my first time. They're like, we could tell you're horrible at this. It is true. It's my first time in Portland, and walking around, one of my favorite things is how whimsy all your shops and restaurants are. All the names, I love them. It's a great marketing way to set yourself apart. Everything is just a fun adjective and an occupation. Just on my walk here, I passed by the angry florist, the testy baker, the slippery accountant. I tried the same marketing tactic to get into this club. I was like, the mediocre comedian. Didn't work as well. See? Exactly. My name is Maxie. A little bit about me. When I was a kid, I got bullied for being trans, and it was really hard because I was not trans. Because of my voice, and my parents dressed me in my older brother's hand-me-downs, girls would... And I continued to dress this way today. Girls would corner me in the bathroom and go, Maxie's a man! Maxie's a man! And then to prove I wasn't a man, right there, I'd have to cry in front of them. And that proved I wasn't a man. Proved I was a real man. I actually offered to show them my junk, and they were like, that makes you even more suspicious. I've gotten a lot more used to my voice since then. I feel better that no one's ever going to accuse me of sounding hysterical. Other women freak out. They're like, oh my God. I freak out. I'm like, oh my God. They're like, she's taking this really well. It's true. I think it's my fault for not displaying more femininity. Partially, I just don't feel like trying anymore. Like in my 20s, I was showing off my body all the time, wearing skimpy stuff. And in my 30s, I cover up a lot more. I feel I have my value. I know my worth. I feel I have nothing to prove. Until some 19-year-old is an absolute bitch to me. That's when I'm like, oh, I will show you how hot I also am under all these layers. I went to a party in LA, and a girl couldn't have been more than 20, wearing very little, was next to me, and I said, I like your top. And she said to me, ugh. I was like, hold my overalls. I don't want to be showing off my body anymore. I've gotten to the age where I think men can do a little work to see it. So I want my body to be a mystery, like Schrodinger's cat. You got to get inside the box to find out that I'm dead inside. I could try harder, says my stepmom. Like, my hair always looks like I've been through a rough time. I have curly hair. I grew up in Seattle. Bad combination. It's always frizzy. I've done everything I can to feel better about my hair. I've tried long hair. I've tried short hair. Finally asked my hairdresser what I should try next. She's like, drugs? My hairdresser, I couldn't afford to keep seeing her. And when I told her that, she cut her rate so I could keep coming to her. Which would have been really nice if that exact week my therapist hadn't done the exact same thing. That means they both looked at me and were like, I'd rather take a pay cut than let you out in the world in your present condition. And I was saying to my therapist, God, I feel so badly accepting charity from Mila. There's people who need it so much more than I do. And my therapist said, no. I took forever to find a hairstylist that wouldn't judge me for how crappy I look every time I come in. I try to DIY my hair maintenance in between. And when I would come into the salons, the reception would be so mean, so critical. I just started lying and saying whatever I had done was done by the last salon. I'd get into the chair, they'd be like, ugh, who did your roots? They really messed you up. I'd be like, yeah, she did. Ugh, this looks horrible. Yep, thank God I found you. Ugh, was she blind? Okay, I'm sure she was a really nice woman just doing her best. I can't stand judgy customer service. It's like I came to you for help. Every time I go in to get a bra, the ladies are like, ooh, we gotta remeasure you. I don't know who measured you last time, but your cup's not supposed to be this empty. I'm like, actually, I'd like to think of it as half full. Maybe I'll grow into it. I'm an optimist. I like my little boobs now. I think they've got personality. My boyfriend even talks about them the same way he talks about me. He's like, they're a handful. I need a new therapist because I dropped my old therapist and she let me go a little too easily. And now I need someone to talk to about how badly that made me feel. I wasn't making any progress with my therapist, and I think it was my fault because my therapy appointment was always about 20 minutes after my midday coffee. I was skewing the results false positive every time. I'd get into session just as the coffee was hitting. My therapist would be like, so how are you doing today? I'd be like, friggin' great! I'm doing fine. I don't even know what we're doing here. I have like 20 book clubs to join, 3 scripts to write. I got things to do. What are we doing here? You know what? Bye. Coffee obviously has dangerous side effects. I know I should give up coffee, but I just don't have the willpower. I only have the willpower to give like one thing a year. 2 years ago, I gave up alcohol. Again, thank you. 1 year ago, I gave up sugar, and this year I already gave up. I know some of you are looking at me, well, it's my fault. I get it. The whole mistaken identity thing, it's my fault. I'm not one of those girls who flaunts her femininity or sexuality. I'm not my pussy this, my pussy that. One of those girls who goes, my pussy's a goddess. I'm always like, really? A goddess? Mine's a little more like an air fryer. At first, I was like, I'm going to use this all the time. After a while, you get a little realistic. You're like, takeout's easier. Some girls are really proud of their pussies. I don't get it. There's a trend on TikTok called vabbing, where girls are taking themselves and dabbing it on like perfume. I know, my friend Rachel told me about it. She was like, ew, gross. He wants to smell like a dead, rotten, smelly fish. I was like, you should get that checked out, Rach. I have no problem with treating pussies like goddesses, except that it also means we have to treat dicks like gods. And hey, I already treat my boyfriend's dick like a god. I ignore it except for major holidays. I know I sound harsh. I know I sound harsh towards men. It's just because I grew up a horse girl. Any horse girls in here? And we were raised to know if he doesn't perform, you put him down. Horses are expensive. I can no longer afford them, so I've started trying to date men who can. And it really bums out the broke guys. I was on a date with one guy, and he's like, I don't get it. What's the deal with women and horses? I'm like, I don't know. I think we're just attracted to things that can support us. My stepmom, Barbara, was dismayed to learn that in my ranking of love, it still goes number 1, my horse that died 5 years ago, then my boyfriend. She's like, sweetie, guys like to know they're number 1. I was like, you know what they say, Barb? Can't beat a dead horse. It's not till I've gotten older that I've realized why horse girls were considered so weird. I'm like, I get it now why I was bullied. Side note, right now, if you didn't know a weird horse girl growing up, you were the weird horse girl growing up. Our love for horses goes way beyond what is normal or healthy. We have so much pride in our love for horses, you might as well just add it to the rainbow. LGBTQIA horse, just a horse, full stop. Some girls take it too far. Their love for horses stops just short of a crime. And for some, I'm not sure it stops short. Girls are like, ooh, my horse is my boyfriend. Ugh. I have a friend who goes, my horse is my husband. I'm like, oh, phew. At least you're not sleeping with him. My boyfriend likes to tease me about Catherine the Great, the rumor that she fucked a horse. I'm like, oh, sure. What a typical male way to bring down a powerful woman. You want to bring down a man, you accuse him of sleeping with his secretary. You want to bring a woman down, you accuse her of sleeping with her horse. I think we ought to have a little more respect for women who don't sexually abuse people. Guy does it, you say, ew, he's gross. A woman does it, you say, ew, she's gross, but also very brave. Thank you guys so much. I've been Max Whittrack. Have a good time, healing.